Well, hello there, everybody. Welcome to some more Serious Sam. Today we're going to be playing the second encounter, which is the expansion pack to Serious Sam 1, but as most of us that don't like Serious Sam 2 as much, we'll generally just kind of call this Serious Sam 2. In my opinion, it's basically Serious Sam 2. I really don't care. It's pretty much about the same length, I'd say, as Serious Sam 1. First encounter. I wouldn't say I'm very familiar with most of this game because I generally don't play it as often as I do the first encounter, but I have played through it a few times in preparation for this. One thing I will say is I don't think it's as balanced as this first encounter, but we'll get into that later. So let's go ahead and play it. We're going to be playing on normal, as I always say. I don't think Serious is very fun. I just don't think it's still very challenging, but I just don't... It's like playing Expert in, Left 4 Dead 2 solo without other human beings and generally improved bot AI. It's just not very fun. So, normal. It's already challenging as it is. And, we get this nice blue background. I quite like it a lot. So, story is, Crow Team, the developers, shoot down the rocket from the first game. Sam's a lumberjack. That's all you gotta know. There's not very much stuff to this game that's, required to know. But the first weapon we pick up is the chainsaw. This is brand new. It's not exactly my favorite weapon, but trust me, we get a lot of toys in this expansion. So, this is like... excuse me, my goodness. This is like my third attempt recording this because one day I was too tired, one day I just wasn't feeling it, and that first attempt, it was just... oh man, I was going crazy. It was like ranting about how my mom was a flat earther. For reals, that's actually true. But, stuff like that, so it just wasn't very good. So I just kind of scrapped it, and we'll move on and try again. I still have no idea what causes the micro stutters in this. You can see my FPS counter in the background there. I've tried everything, adjusting. I'm really not worried about it. It's very small. It's only when recording, so in my own time playing the game, it's not actually doing it. I don't care. It's really not that big a deal. But yeah, Serious Sam second encounter is relatively challenging, I'd say. In order of difficulty, I'd say it's the hardest. Excuse me. Much, much harder than first encounter. But at the same time, it's also a little bit easier. There's just more tools to play with, and you have a lot more, mobility in general, I guess. I think the second encounter lets you get away with a lot more shit than the first encounter would. There's a lot more slaloms, basically, and there's not as many crammed indoor areas like there is in the first game. I mean, there's not very many in general in the entire series, but still, I really do enjoy the second encounter. I wouldn't say it's as good as the first. If I had to rank any of the games in the chronological order, I haven't played Serious Sam 1, or sorry, Serious Sam 2, the official Serious Sam 2. I generally just play this instead, which I think you're not alone in that ballpark and if you're doing what I'm doing too. But, for the most part, I'd say Serious Sam HD, first encounter, whatever you want to call it. Then it's going to go Serious Sam 3, Serious Sam 4, and then second encounter. I really just don't think second encounter's as polished as the original, and I know that's probably heresy, but you'll see what I mean as we get into it. I do love it. It's still a very solid game. I just don't think it's as solid as Serious Sam 1 is, because it's just... oh god. There's a lot of shit that's really unbalanced, in my opinion, and I don't know. There's not very much that I hate, but I think this is the best way I can describe it. So, the beginning of the game is the most ambitious part of it, and then later on it just kind of stagnates back to normal. I don't think that's a bad thing, but yeah. The beginning chapters, especially just all these Mesoamerican ones, they're very, very not polished, I guess. Like, they're really cool in design, but the execution, and we'll get into that later, is just, I don't know. I don't really dig it very much. I can't say it's my favorite. although the design is pretty and it's awesome looking, it just doesn't cut it for me in some aspects of the game. But also, I haven't even talked about this yet. So this is the first game to introduce the rifle, which is absolutely a just wonderful weapon. I think that can teleport him back in here. There's a little teleporter on the other side, so I'm not really worried about him. So this also adds the rifle. We also get these jackasses right here. They're kind of like the scrapjacks are in the later Serious Sam games, but they're not as dangerous and tanky. But they are in function the same, I guess is what I described them as. Like, just kind of like these units that you can look at and just sort of, like, focus damage on instantly because you need to. Something I'm trying to do more often is use the shotgun to take care of beheaded. I don't do that nearly enough. I usually just use the revolver because, well, it's what I'm familiar with doing. I'm not really sure if I want to break that habit, but just the revolver swag, man. I mean, I'm serious. It's just so good. It's got infinite ammo, infinite range. There's just what not to love.
Now you're all fired.
Yeah, I love the flamethrower in this game. It's very, very good. Also, there's supposed to be mobs spawning in here. This cartouche is supposed to be, I think, the like Aztec god of death and rebirth. I'm pretty sure. So there's also a couple reliefs of him too, somewhere else in the game, of Kippy Tolpec, which I have described in like my Tomb Raider 1 playthrough. Please refer to that as well. It's a fantastic series. So yeah, the chainsaw, as you can see, it works okay, but it's just like in Doom, you have to like latch onto the enemies, and that, to me, that kind of takes me out of it a little bit. I'm just not a huge fan of that. So I generally don't use it very often, but it is pretty damn effective. It does a lot of melee damage. And there's a new enemy as well, the Cucurito, I think is what they're called. Let me double check here. I can never remember. They're only, Cucurbito, I can't even really say it properly. I don't even think I'm saying it. See, that right there, this I think is supposed to be Kippy Tolpec. But anyways, I'm not really worried about it. You shouldn't be worried about it. It's Serious Sam, man. Why are you worried about it? So, yeah. I do love Serious Sam a lot. It's a really, like, close to my heart series. See, these function kind of like Mancubi do in Doom, but just not as, like, tanky. They take about, I think, just 2 rockets to kill, so they don't really require a lot of priority in terms of resources and stuff. They're just, they can kind of cut you off in really awkward ways, and it's really annoying.
Didn't I kick your ass 2 rooms back?
I just love that every time I hear it. Oh, the Aztecs had Pokeballs! Not really. Now, I will say this. There is a lot of really good encounters in this game that I personally like in terms of, like, challenge. However, there's some things in this game, like what we're seeing right now, where the game tries to... I understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to make the game different, I guess, you know? But it ends up coming off as a little too gimmicky. But I love the jibs in this game, they're so good. The the chainsaw does have benefits, but I'll get into it later.
Double your fun.
You also get these little action figures that have little dick punch things on them, it's pretty cute. Anyways, like, take that the wrong way. So, I haven't even shown it off yet. And man, I've said this each time I did this test record, like, I just wish I had the fucking... Serious Sam 4 has, like, the best engine in the game, in my opinion. I know it's not the best game, but it has the best game engine. You get so spoiled by that game's, like, fucking dual-wielding aspects. Like, you have no idea how seriously good dual-wielded coach guns are until you do it. I swear, I miss that so much. I do want to play the games in order because I think that's fair, but damn, I wish I had it. It's just so good. Like, seriously, man, if that was in this game, I would never use anything else except dual coach guns. It's just so damn satisfying. Anyways, I haven't even shown it off yet, but the the Flamer is actually very, very effective against clear. Oh, come on, man. I was trying to be swagtastic. I thought that was going to work. I should have waited a little bit longer. Oh, well, it gives you a chance to show this off. So, the flamethrower is very, very effective in this game. It's basically a fuck you gun. It's almost broken. It doesn't look like it right now, but as we get more and more deeper into encounters that have a lot of clear, it becomes the go-to weapon for them because it's just so effective. And I mean, there is other, you know, effective methods of dealing with things, but for my opinion, I think in this game, and it's kind of a shame they're not in, like, any other Serious Sam titles. What am I doing? It's sadly not in any other Serious Sam titles, but the flamethrower is just fantastic in this game. It's... oh, Jesus. It's kind of like the flamethrower in Team Fortress 2, you know, you just... I fucking did it twice! Jesus! Wow. I thought I was so cool, but... I haven't died to that trap in so many years, dude. I'll just take it easy then, because I'm just trying to explain shit, right? So... it's stuff like this that really takes me out of Serious Sam Second Encounter. I have played the game numerous times. It's just the fact that, like, the puzzly aspects I just don't think are very fun. And you can tell right off the bat, like, the game basically is just like, alright, no more fucking around. Here's a bunch of enemies, here's a bunch of goodies, and my god, those jibs are going crazy. Please do not think that I am a terrible player because I screwed up on something like that. That was very stupid. This game is not... like I said, I will admit this. It's not just me. I know I'm not the only person in this ballpark. There's a lot of shit in this game that just feels really unbalanced. Fucking T-pose away, I dare you, man. See, I'm so broken with, like, Serious Sam 4, I just want to use the coach gun for everything. Dare I say it, it's almost as... in that game, that weapon is almost as good as the fucking Doom 4 shotgun, or 5 shotgun. Maybe. I don't know, man, it's pretty hard to determine, but, I don't know, it's pretty good. Anyways, I will say this, though, because the game is an expansion pack, it does expect you to know the first encounter's, like, enemy lineup pretty well. There's not so many new enemies where it feels like you have to relearn the game, basically, but it is dependent on knowing how to play the first game as well. Like, I would not say jump straight into this game if you're new to the series. That's a terrible idea. You will get the shit beat out of you. There's so many little instances here and there where you just need to know what you're doing. Like, oh god, this platforming. So this isn't even the worst, like, instance of it yet, but this game does get a little bit platform crazy in the next level for a little bit. It's not as bad as you think it is, but I'll explain it when I get there. So, something that is really good is the rifle can actually one-shot wearables, which, trust me, it's way better than you think it is. And my goodness, man. You can see I'm still going for headshots because I keep thinking it's fucking Serious Sam 4, which is... I mean, it's good to aim for the head, right? You gotta have some accuracy, but damn it, that game spoils me. It's... oh, there we go. We're starting to get the frame drops. That's what I was talking about. Hopefully it's not too noticeable on the record, but for me it is. It's only when recording, too. I mean, it's just, you know... recording games already takes up a ton of processing, and I'm putting this in, like, HD at, like, 60 FPS. Like, it's gonna have some hiccups here and there. I'm not bothered by it. It's not too noticeable, but it's something I do have happen every now and then. So, yeah. What essentially happens in this game is... this is, like, my honest-to-God reaction to it every time. I play it, I get halfway through it, and I stop playing it. And I just get, like, tired of playing it. And I don't think it's because it's a bad game, it's because I just don't think it's as solid, and I can't come back to it like I can with Doom. Like, I can play Doom and Quake till the cows come home, but this one, I can't do it, man. Something about it just really burns me every time. It's just the beginning, and I know that's terrible, but Serious Sam 3 has a really slow start as well. But yeah, that's the first level. I'll see you in the next one.